Hi everybody, welcome back, welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful week and some good rest. In this tutorial, we are going to talk about the Bootstrap Card. The Bootstrap Card can be used to create apps like this. You see these cards can be used to create these beautiful cards right here. This card in the middle with like profits, and this card with an image background, and these cards right here. I'm going to show you how to create most of these cards today. And this is part of the book of Dash that I co-authored with two other friends of mine. And this is one of the bonus contents that we provide publicly to everybody. So we are going to review this chapter. So I created this code for you here. There's 4 Python files. I'm going to add this link under the video. Make sure to click on it and then go into each file and download the code so you can run it with me and while I explain this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to open the first code. Pause the video if you need more time. And it's going to be minimalcard.py. This first one right here, minimalcard.py. I'm going to close this. All right. So in this code, if you just run it, these two are hashtagged out. And if you just run this, you will see that we have this simple Dash app with a card right in the middle that has sales and then a dollar amount. Now this is the first part of this bonus content. And this explains how to create and insert a simple Bootstrap card into a Dash app. Right? This is very, very simple. All we do is we import the libraries necessary to run the Dash app. We include a Dash Bootstrap Spacelab theme. You can use a Bootstrap theme or a dark theme. You can do, there's like 15 different themes. Throughout this tutorial, we're going to use the Spacelab theme. And then icons we are going to use later. So you don't necessarily need this right now. And then here we are building the card and we insert this card into the layout. App layout, DBC container, and here's where the card goes. And then we run the app. So this card right here is what you see on the screen. And it's simple. We only have to do dbc.card. This is Dash Bootstrap. And inside we declare the card body. And this is what is going to be inside the body. A header 1 and a header 3. So this is why you see this as a bigger font, because header 1 is a bigger font than header 3. Now this is a DBC card. All of this is taken and based on the DBC Bootstrap card from Dash Bootstrap Components website. Right here you'll see the card and you can read all about the card with more details and additional examples of what you can do with the card, and all the references are down here. Really worth the while. I recommend reading this after you finish watching this video. It's very, very helpful, or as long while you look at the code. Okay. So we created our simple card. Now let's style it by adding color and centering the text, right? So for that, we are going to hashtag this out. I'm going to open line 18 to 26 on hashtag. We're going to, it's debug true, so it's automatically going to update. And now we see that the text is in the middle and this is green. Now how do we do that? If you go back to the code, you'll see that we have the same DBC card and inside a DBC body, but the difference is that we're going to include a Bootstrap class. We're going to assign this to the class name property of the DBC card, right? Of this DBC card. And so text center, all these classes are very, very powerful and easy to use, especially when you have this cheat sheet. So I'm going to give you this cheat sheet under the video because we're going to use this a lot in today's tutorial. So I'm going to look for center. Let's see how where we took center from. Control F up here, we'll put center. And we'll see there's 3 center here. Don't need that. Let's go up here. Here, text center. So I'm going to click on this to see an example. And I see that when we put text center in a class name for an HTML div or an HTML-P, it centers. Here's the example. It centers the text. You can do it for small screen, medium screen, large screen. We're just doing text center. So that's why text center here is causing all of this text of the card body to be in the center of the card. And then we have text success. What does this mean? When I first saw this, I have no idea what success means. So I went to the cheat sheet and I did Control F and I looked for success. And I remember I was thinking this must be something like, let's see, success. Let's look for text. Maybe this would come up. Okay, so we have text muted black. You can assume that this text has to do with color because we see that this color is green, right? For this $104 million, the color is green. So this has to do with color. So we're going to go into the cheat sheet and we'll look for color. And we'll see text color. There's border color, but this is our text. And then we see text success, and this is the color green. So if you change it to warning, you'll see the color orange, right? Warning is orange, and here you see orange right now. Cool. So that is our card with some color and centering the text. Let's go to the next section. Into the Bootstrap card with icons. We're going to add an icon. This little, well, let's run it. Let's run it and see. Go right here. Let's hashtag this back in, 30 to 39. Save. It's going to update. Now we see that we have an icon, which is like a bank, and then we have this up arrow, and then this is in green, and all the text is centered, and we have the background in blue. So let's see how we do that. Again, this is using the cheat sheet, and we're using the Bootstrap icon website to search for the icon or to insert the icon that we want, right? For this icon that you see here, the BB, the arrow, and the bank icon, you need to include DBC Icons Bootstrap. Sometimes I forget to do that, and then I'm pulling my hair out like, what's wrong? Why is it not working? You need to include this. So let's see. In the first section, obviously we open DBC card, then DBC card body, and everything inside the body is going to be text centered. So everything is going to be within the DBC card. That is, it's going to be in the center of the card. So you see this is in the center. And then it's going to be M4. What is M4? Well, let's take a look at the cheat sheet, and we'll take a look at M. Does M4 come up? No, let's do M. No, that's like 80, so we'll just look here, M. Here we have M. M, it'll actually tell you, if you look here, the margin all sides with breakpoint. So it just adds margin. M4 will add 4 units of margin around all sides. There are 4 units, 3 units. You see this space around this piece of HTML div, right? This block. So that is why, if you go back here, you see that everything is going to be M4 inside the card, margin of 4. So there's margin 4 on top, there's margin 4 on the bottom, and there's also margin 4 and 4 on the right and on the left, because it's hard to see, but it doesn't fill the whole card. So, but it exists. And the text is white, so you see the text is white. Now, we'll go into the first one, HTML H1 header. Let's go back here. Let's do this so you can see it easy. The HTML header has children, and in the children we're going to have an HTMLI. This is usually used to insert icons. HTMLI. The class name is BB Bank, and then ME2. So let's dissect this. What is BB Bank? This, as you might assume, is the bank icon. Now, how do you know this? Well, I don't know it, so I went here to Bootstrap and I just searched for, let's make this bigger, and I search for bank. Enter. I'm going to also put this link under the video. And then I see bank one and this bank. It seems like they're using this bank in the article. So we'll click here, and then you'll see here it's BI space BI hyphen bank, which is exactly what we see here. BI space BI hyphen bank. So this is the icon, right? And then we have an ME. I already know from using this a lot. ME just means margin end. So it's like margin to the end, to the right of the HTML div. You see there's space, ME2, ME4, there's the amount of space that we have. So we'll go back. You see that we have a bank icon, and then there's space a little bit, 2 units of space to the right before the profit, which is what you see here. The bank, and then 2 units of space, and then you see the profit. Underneath, you see 8.3 million, 8.3 million, simple. And then underneath that, you'll see that we're adding HTML4. So this text is going to be a little bit smaller than this text. And then we're adding this arrow. So let's go into the icon again, and we'll put arrow. And actually, we'll even change this. Whoops. Arrow. And this is more of a, it's actually called a caret. We're using this kind of arrow right here. Caret up fill. Let's use a different one. Let's use, here we're using a fill. Let's use a caret with no fill. I'm just going to put caret up. So we'll click on this, and then we see that it's BI caret up. So we'll go here, BI caret up without the fill. We just took out the fill, and we'll refresh, and now you'll see that it is empty. It's no fill, right? And then the text is going to be success, which means that it is the color green. Text color, text color. There we go. The color green, success. All right, so this is how we built this card right here. Let's go to the next section. The next section is Dash Bootstrap Cards side by side. So we're building 3 cards, all of them side by side. So for that, I'm going to stop this code, this file, and I'm going to ask you to open the side-by-side.py file, which is in the GitHub that's under the video that I started this video with. And then we're going to run it. Just copy it, run it. Don't forget to pip install Dash Bootstrap if you don't have it. Don't forget to always put your icons and your theme. And then we're going to see that we have these 3 cards. So how are we doing this? Very similar to what we did before with H1 and H3 and this little caret upward and downward. So what we're doing here is, let's make this a little bit smaller. Okay. So we're building these 3 cards. 1, 2, and order is the last card right here. They're building these 3 cards, and then we just put them inside the layout, inside a row, 1 row. You see how they're 1 row, and then each card will be inside a DBC column. All right, I have a full video explaining layout and how to put things inside rows and inside columns, and how to use the Dash Bootstrap layout component right here. So just click on, should be on top right corner of your screen, to if you want to watch this video about the Dash layout and styling. All right, so we have all the cards inside 1 row in 3 different columns. So you see here 3 different columns on 1 row. If you make it small, it's also interactive. Now it becomes 2 and 1, like that. And then we're going to build each card. So these cards is very similar. So I'm just going to build with you this. We're going to explain the sales card right here. So in the sales card, we have $sales. So you see here we're putting the HTML H1. This is the size. HTML.I is for the icon. Currency $. So this is just the dollar currency that you can search in Bootstrap. And then a margin end, so a margin of 2 to the right between the $sign and the sales. And then text no wrap just helps when, if this browser is very small, it helps for this 2 things to stay on 1 line and not collapse. Then we have just a dollar amount. And in the third one, we have an HTML div. And we're just creating two, we're using the HTML div to create two separate text. This text is will have no styling, just VSLY, the VSLY. And the text right before it, the 5.8%, will have the caret right next to it. And with text success is going to be the color green. Maybe you want to add a little bit of space, so we'll do ME2. See if it looks even better. No, pretty much the same. Doesn't really make a difference, so we're going to leave it at that, like that. Okay. So that's how we built the sales app, card, sorry. And then the class name, we see that we have border start. So what does border start mean? Let's go to the cheat sheet and we'll go into border. So then we have border direction. Border direction just says start. You'll see that it's at the very last one, you'll see this little gray line to the left. So there's like a little padding to the border, right? And then in addition to border start, we have border success. So we're going to make it green. And then 5, I'm assuming, is the size of the border. Border 0, where is size? See, so border 5 has a thick like padding on the side, but we're doing only in the start, only in the left side. So that's why you see a thick 5, border 5, only on the left side on the start, and it's going to be the color green, the color success. All right, and then we're putting the whole card text in the center with some margins of 4 units of margins around it. And that's what we repeat in these two other cards. The only difference is that this has a caret down. So you'll see here, caret down. Perfect. And if you have any questions, don't forget, go into the YouTube comments and definitely ask me any questions you might have. And of course, if you want to support this channel and the education that I provide, you can do so through subscription to membership on YouTube or on my Patreon, which is also under the video. Thank you. All right, so let's open the next code. The next code is going to be in this chapter is going to be I'm going to skip cards in a loop. This is just a very nice, quick way, pretty good code to actually create many cards in a for loop like this instead of creating them one by one like we did here, like 3 different apps. I'm going to skip this. And here we're going to create a card with an image. We're going to add a link, and we're going to add a background image as well. So go to GitHub and open background image and link. Let's open this code. We'll run it. And now we'll see that in the first example, we just have a card with an image. This one. Now, a card with an image is fairly simple. All you have to do is create your DBC card, and right above, assuming you want the image above the card, right above the card body, you put the card image. And the source is going to be the image itself, count. Here is the image. You can control click, and you'll see that this image comes up on the browser. So we're just going to assign this to the source and top true because the card image is on top of the body, right? And then we just have regular body, HTML3 that's bigger, HTML div, and then a smaller div was like small font. The max width is 350. This is just another way of telling the app how wide you want the card to be. So this is only going to be 350 units wide. All right. Next, we're going to see how to add a link to the image. This is slightly different than this one. I'm just adding the link to the same image here. So we're going to hashtag this out, hashtag this back in, run it. All right, so now we can actually click on this. If I do right click, this will take me to the Wikipedia to talk about the count. So how did I do that? It looks exactly the same as the other card, but it has a link. So what you have to do is before you put this card image that we had here on top, put it inside a DBC card link. So all you have to do, DBC card link, open square brackets, insert the card image, and then right under it, outside of the brackets, outside of the children, just declare the link, the href. And this is the link. And that is how, and then underneath the body, and that's how you get the link embedded inside the image. Last but not least, we're going to insert a background image to your card. So all the text, buttons, and everything is going to be on top of the image. So we're going to hashtag this out, line 25 to 41. I'm going to go down here, 45 to 57, and put this back inside the code. And we'll see, we took out some text, and we just left the image, but the text you can see is right on top of the image. It's not under it, it's not the body under it or on top of it, it's right on top of the image, which is the background. So, well, how we did this, we just put the card image, right? You don't need top true because this is in the background. And then underneath, you'll have the card body, but you put the card body, you mean the text and anything you want inside the card body or on top of the image, you put it inside the card image or overlay. So now the app knows that the image goes first underneath, and above it you will put everything that goes inside the card body. H3, count font count, text light, so this text is white, and text center, so it's in the center of the card. Margin top, it's 160 units from the top, right? So that's why you see space between the text and the top of the card. If you did not do this, if you took this out, then it would just be somewhere towards the top, right? But I want it to be at the bottom, so I'm just going to use the style property. Now this image is pretty what's the opposite of opaque? Let me look it up. Let's go. I think you can control opacity, so we're going to go here, and I want to change the opacity of the card. Opacity. So I think you can do it like that. Opacity, like that. This is in the card, in the Bootstrap card component. We're going to go into the image, style opacity 0.3, and let's see. There we go. But it also changes the opacity of the text, so that's interesting. I'm sure there's a way to do it. If you do find the way of just changing the opacity of the card, put it under the video so other people can learn as well. Okay, so now that we did the image, now we're going to look into a live update. So this will be the last chapter of how we're going to create an app that is connected to Bitcoin and or cryptocurrency and gives us updated information every 6 seconds. So for that, let me save this, open the project, and go to the live card. This is the last app, and just run it. Perfect. Now we're going to run it, and now we see that we have, whoops, stop this, live card, stop that, terminate, live card. All right, so now you see that we have information, and this will update every 6 seconds. 1.7, 0.3. Let's see what happens. Oh, you see? 0.38. This just updated, and if you paid attention closely, this also changed the update time to the newest data from this API. Okay, so how do we do this? I'm going to stop the app like that, and I'm going to show you how this is done. Remember, this is the last chapter, or one before last, of live updates in this bonus content of the book. Don't forget that if you want the book, you just have to scroll all the way down and order your copy. All right, so how did we do this? This is more code than before. but it's really well written. It makes life a lot easier to use this code. Only 75 lines, 76 lines of code, and we have like 4 beautiful, beautiful cards here. Okay, so what we did here, we imported all the libraries that we need. We're using the superhero theme instead of the Space Lab theme, and Bootstrap Icons. And then we're going to use this API to connect to right here, to connect to get the data of this cryptocurrency, right? And this, what it is just a list of dictionaries. All of this is just a list of dictionaries of each and every coin. Here we're making the card, but we're going to review this later. And here we put everything inside the layout. So in this layout, we have an interval, we have cards, and we have the mention, right? So we have the interval that activates the callback, cards, and then this mention, this update and everything. All right, so let's look at the callback. We're taking the n intervals, which is just, nothing. It's just every time underscore. It's every time the n intervals of the interval component is activated, which is every 6 seconds, because we put here interval 6,000 milliseconds right here. So every 6 seconds, this is going to activate, and this is going to trigger the callback. And once the callback is triggered, we're going to get the data. This is the get data function. Remember this data function. Where is it? There we go. Get data. So we're pulling from the API URL. We're putting the information. This is a coin data. This is a list of dictionaries, and every dictionary is a coin in itself. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 20 in there. And if it's not working, or it's an empty list, or it's a dictionary, then just don't update. Or else, if it's a list of dictionaries, then create an empty list. And for every coin inside the coin data, let's run this again. There we go. Ethereum, stop. Cool. So we're going to say for every coin inside the coin data. So you see, this is the coin data. If you print it out right here, you'll see that it's a list of dictionaries. And so now we're going to loop over it, over this list, and we're going to say for every coin, for every dictionary, if the coin ID, Bitcoin, Ethereum, is part of the coin's list, which is right here, is either Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, or this one, then only if it's one of those 4, then we're going to print it out. So you see we have all of these because there's duplicates, Ripple, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to get this updated time that we're going to use later to write this out. And then here is where the magic happens, line 68. We are going to append a card. We're going to make a card with this coin and add it to this empty coin cards list. So in the first loop, we're going to go to the first dictionary, this one. This is the coin dictionary. And we're going to say, make card with this dictionary. So all of this is one dictionary. This coin is one dictionary. And we're going to make this card using this function right here on line 21. This is the dictionary. This is right here. All of this, right? So how is this being done so beautifully? We're actually creating several objects. The first one is going to be called change, and it's going to be we're going to access the key of the price change percentage. So Control C, let's go here, Control F, V, search for it. Here we go. So the price change percentage is 0.72296. So this is actually this same thing, right? This is how we're accessing it. The price is going to be the coin current price. Where do we see current price? Let's just look for it. Oh, there we go. Current price is going to be this. So the first one is going to be this price, 1600 is going to be this, right? But this is just for the first dictionary. right? And then we're going to loop again, and we're going to use the second dictionary, the second coin, and the third coin, and the fourth coin, and so on and so on. So we have a change, we have price, and then we say we're just going to create a string. If the change is smaller than 0, then this string is going to be danger. If it's bigger than 0, it's going to be called success. This means nothing now. But remember, danger and success, when we use it inside the Bootstrap class in Dash Bootstrap, this is a color. This is green, and this is red. Same thing here. If the change is smaller than 0, the arrow, the caret is going to go down. If it's higher than 0, it's going to go up. And then we create the card. We're returning this DBC card. So this complete DBC card, this card right here, with all the information, is actually going to be right here in line 68, the first card for the first dictionary. Second dictionary will be the second card inside this list, right? And the third card and the fourth card, which is how we end up with all these 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. And then we just put everything inside the layout in this beautiful manner. So let's just finish this. Here we have the card, and we're just saying create an HTML div. I think you could also do this with DBC card body. And the first part will have, let's actually look at this together. Let's run it and do this while it's running. Okay. So the first card will be the dictionary of Bitcoin, this dictionary, and it will have the image will be coin image. So this is the image right here, is the HTTP. So this will be the image, this B thing. And then the height will be 35, so it will be relatively small. And then class name, margin, N. So there's a margin here between the image and Bitcoin. And then the coin name is Bitcoin, because you're going to name, where is the name here? Control F, name. There we go, Bitcoin, right in front of me. So we have the name, and underneath we have a dollar amount, and this comes from F price. So where the price we did right here is the current price. And then underneath that, we're just doing, we're adding H5 right here, where we say we're going to take the change, the price change percentage, which was like 0.77 something. We're going to round it to 0.8, round it up, and then we're going to add this icon right here that we created, either this one or this one, depending on the change. So this is arrow up, and then 24 hours, and all of this is in green because the class name is text color, and the color is green in this case because the change is above 0. So this creates this beautiful app that updates every 6 seconds with Bitcoin. Really impressive how you can create with Dash with like 70 lines of code, 75 lines of code, a complete app with beautiful cards on it. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a lot. Don't forget to check out the Dash example index, which has many more examples of simple Dash apps and simple code that you can learn from. And don't forget to check the book out if this is something you're interested in. Two of my friends and I took a long time to work on this and to write content that will be good for people like you that are interested in building dashboards and data apps in Python using Dash. Thank you so much. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you enjoyed. And that is it. Always remember, we are better together, so help each other out.